right, I think we are live.
Should be.
Today's live hangout is going to be about tropical fruit.
Yeah.
Tropical fruit is just amazing. And we've had our fair share of tropical fruits through the year, of course, through our life. I mean, we've traveled a fair bit.
Mm-hmm.
We've eaten quite a bit of tropical fruit. You could say we have been, and we're still to some degree, obsessed about tropical fruit.
Mm-hmm. Quite.
It's quite different from the normal fruits that you would see in a supermarket in Norway, right? Like even though there are tropical fruits there, the selection isn't that great, and when you get the fruit at the source in the tropics, it's just so different anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So today in this hangout we are going to talk about types of tropical fruits that we've tried, which are favorites, which those fruits that we haven't tried,
which are the most exotic, maybe.
Yeah, we'll talk a little bit about durian.
Yeah, as always. The pros and cons of tropical fruit versus typical supermarket fruit here in
temperate fruits versus tropical fruits, nutritionally speaking as well. We'll touch on that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the topic for today. If you're watching the recording of this, which we'll post later, you know that you can join the live stream next time here on Patreon. It's a Patreon only event. So right now we've got some of our patrons with us here. Diane says hi. Hi Diane, glad to have you with us. And Jenny says also hi everyone, happy almost Halloween. Yeah, it is almost Halloween.
In 3 days.
Yeah, let us know if the stream is good. As usual, Tell us if there's any problems, if you can see us here as well, if everything's good. It is almost Halloween. I started watching the second season of Stranger Things yesterday, and that's an awesome TV series, and I'm very happy that the second season is out. So started watching that yesterday, and it's definitely Halloween-y. That's for sure.
I still haven't watched the first one, which is I have to do at some point.
Yeah. Have you guys seen Stranger Things? Let me know. If anyone else is there watching, please say hello in the chat. We'd love to hear from you. Jenny says looks rocking, so that's good. Everything is going good. Check all the technical stuff just for sure, just to be sure.
Not really anything to check. Everything is as it should be.
Okay.
So let's get into the first topic of today, which I suggest to be basically what fruits have made the biggest impression on us.
That's a good start. Yeah. Well, that's obvious. I mean, for anyone who knows us, it's pretty obvious. We will get it that. Jenny Kanelhjärta. I guess that's Jenny Medjool Hunter.
Oh, maybe.
Hi everyone. Hi Jenny. Glad to have you with us. Thanks for joining. And that's cool. We have 2 Jennys on board.
So I think the first time we really traveled was to Thailand.
Yeah. And
the main reason we went there, well, not maybe the main reason, was actually durian, which all of you probably know is our probably the biggest passion in terms of fruit for us.
Yeah, we changed our diet towards a fruit-based raw vegan diet in 2011 during the summer, and quickly we found out fruit, that's what it's all about. And then, obviously, once we started reading about fruit and researching fruit and watching fruity vegans talk about fruit, we quickly realized there is a particular fruit that everyone is obsessed about, and it is durian. And especially Durian Rider, right? Harley Johnstone, he was an inspiration. I remember we watched his videos from Thailand going around eating durian, and we were just like, oh my god. And we decided we gotta go. And that's what we did about 6 months after, like in the beginning of 2012. We went on our first trip. Ape Living, Xander is with us.
Nice. Good to have you with us.
Good to have you with us. Cool. This is a nice turnout. Everyone's here.
Yeah. Xander from Ape Living. He makes Ape Living retreats in Costa Rica, and we were there when we did his first one. That's when we made all the videos from Costa Rica, and he knows all about tropical crazy fruits for sure.
Yeah, he does. Anyway, yeah, he just says durian, Cempedak. Yeah, we'll talk about Cempedak too. Love you too, man. Okay, so we were totally obsessed without having tried it. So we went to Thailand and we tried durian, and oh my god.
That was crazy.
Wow. That was insane.
Yeah, we were exposed to it first time in the streets of Chantaburi. And we just remember smelling something really good and be like, could that be durian?
Yeah.
Because we'd never smelled it before.
And it was.
And we loved the smell. And we decided not to try it before we were in a serene, quiet environment. We didn't want to do it in the city, so we waited until we got to the island. And there was durian. Yeah. And we've talked about durian in a different live stream, so we're not going to go into details, but it was an epic experience.
Yeah, if you haven't seen that live stream, or if you didn't join us or anything, I guess you could just scroll down on the Patreon feed and you'll find it there if you're a patron. If not, in between all the other exclusive content. But if not, we do post them eventually on YouTube, so you can go to our YouTube channel and take a look there, and you'll probably find our durian video.
So Jenny Kanelhjärta asks if anyone hasn't tried durian yet, and she says that I've heard it's so smelly, and it smells like stinky feet. It smells like a lot of stuff, and I have to say that there are times where I've smelled something, and it's not durian, and the point is, there's certain compounds in durian that can be found in certain other things, like rotting eggs, like garbage even. However, always those smells have that part, sulfur part usually, and the rest is just horrible smells.
Durian, basically, your brain associates, it's about sulfur. That's what it is. There are sulfur compounds in durian, and when proteins like meat and stuff and eggs, when they rot, when they break down, they release certain sulfur, like amino acids that break down, and there are sulfur in some of those amino acids, and that's what the smell is. So we associate it with that. But I never, like, when I smell durian, there's absolutely zero negative associations. Yeah. Like, from the first time I smelled it, I was just like, oh my god, that's an amazing smell. Fruity, fresh, sweet, like delicious kind of smelling. Yeah. But yeah, like Ape Living says, pungently sweet. That's a good description. It is pungent in the sense that it is overwhelming. It's like, whoa.
Yeah, it's not fresh. It's it's very dense, thick.
And Xander, Ape Living, is right. I think noni is more like stinky feet, and that's true. Noni, that is a fruit that stinks in a kind of bad way, but I mean, some of us like that. So
it's another tropical fruit we've had quite a lot of experience with in Cairns, Australia, northern Australia, in even a little bit in Thailand, and maybe a couple of other places. I don't know.
Yeah, nonis are very weird fruit. Noni,
possibly the weirdest.
It's like it is like eating blue cheese, kind of. Is it worth trying frozen durian? Yes, I'd say so, but it depends. If you're really like, oh my god, if you're passionate, if you're like, wow, I need to try durian, then you might end up with a disappointing experience if you try frozen durian, and that might sort of turn you off. You might even end up with sort of a bad durian they sort of look disgusting when they're thawed. So that might turn you off it. If that's the case, you probably want to go and have a fresh one first. But there are good frozen durians though, like really, really good. They can be really good. So
yeah, Diane says that her problem with the durian is that even the best durian smells bad once it's gone bad, or its leftovers are sitting around, more than with other fruit. Yeah, that might be. They start smelling more and more and more
Yeah, and the truth is, when you buy frozen durian and we buy a durian in the store, even if it's fresh and it's been sitting there for a while, imported durian, it's not fresh, right? It's not just right out of the durian, so it usually has broken down a little bit, and that sort of half decayed, overripe type of durian, that's when some of those kind of nasty smells come out. But when you appreciate durian, you actually kind of like that a little bit. But yeah. Oh, Dad is with us as well. Morton. Many thinks that some of the best cheeses in the world stinks. Any connection? Yeah, that's true.
Very well, maybe.
People do find stinky stuff to be delicious. I would definitely say that noni is a stinky fruit in a sort of negative sense, but it's something we can appreciate if you are open to it in the same way as cheese. Durian is more like a cheesecake kind of thing. Like it has a hint of that stink. A hint of stink, but there's all these other tastes and fragrances that are so good though. But let's move on from durian, because we can't really have a complete session about durian.
The smelling thing though brings us to, I would say, the second most tropical crazy fruit, which is
before. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, why not?
No, before you said it, but you said it now. Cempedak.
Yeah.
Before you go there, I'd like to just complete what we've talked about Thailand. I mean, we went to Thailand, and that was our first meeting with tropical fruit. Not just durian, but like mangoes. I mean, and bananas, and all the different fruit, mangosteen, all the different fruits there in Thailand. And that was a shock, specifically because even here in Norway, when we get good fruit like strawberries in summer or apples in autumn, and even the tropical fruits there, the pineapples and the bananas, they are tropical fruits, but they're imported. It's just nothing like the fruit you get in the tropics. When you're in Thailand, when we came there, we were just like, what? It's just a different universe of taste. And anyone that's been to the tropics or living in the tropic, like you, Sander, knows that tropical fruit is quite different at the source and when you have it imported. And so that's when we really, really sort of realized how fruit is actually real human food, and how you can live on fruit and be perfectly satisfied and perfectly happy. Before we came to Thailand, we had experimented with the raw vegan diet. Well, we were raw vegans, but it was only when we came to Thailand that it sort of solidified into oh, definitely, I can live on this for the rest of my life and I wouldn't miss anything. But when I'm back in Norway, when I'm eating the fruit I'm eating here, then I'm sort of like, yeah, I'm happy with it. And certainly I want to continue with it because it makes me feel amazing. Yeah. But I'm certainly not as satisfied as I am with the amazing fruits in the tropics.
There's definitely something hugely different about imported supermarket type fruit and real food. And this actually goes for vegetables as well, like sweet potatoes, other types of vegetables. When you get it from the source, there's an extreme variety. There's not one banana that looks the same ever. It doesn't taste the same. They're all different. And
you get different varieties as well. Like where here in Norway we only get the Cavendish variety mainly, but there are so many different bananas. I remember when we were in Costa Rica, we were eating all those bananas from the farm, Xander, and they were like, oh my god! Especially what was it called again? That amazing banana, the Filipita.
Yeah, that's the one.
That
was my favorite.
Filipita bananas. Oh my god! There's like marshmallow, just like so good. Sander is eating sapodillas right now. Jenny says, only tropical place I've been to is Hawaii, and the fruit is so much better there than the mainland. Yeah, I can imagine. Never been to Hawaii, but I mean, everyone talks about Hawaii as one of the best places for fruit, so...
For sure.
And the other Jenny says she hasn't been to the tropics yet, but in that case, you have something to look forward to, Jenny Kanelhjärta. Because, for a fruit lover, the tropics is literally like a candy store. Like, if you go to Thailand or Costa Rica or something like that, it's just literally there's just fruit everywhere, and it's it's not all good. There's poor quality fruit there as well, but yeah, just when you find the good stuff, it's just so much better.
Jenny, no, the Filipita bananas were not more watery. Actually, opposite. They were really dense, really thick. Kind of like if you ever had a ripe plantain, they're more like that. They're way sweet and really.
Yeah, but they were also kind of. I mean, it's almost like when you get the fresh fruit, it's almost even the dense ones feel more water rich somehow. It's just there's more.
It's easier, maybe. No, but I mean,
it's pretty dense.
It's different, very different.
Yeah. Jenny says, I think Lindsay is in Hawaii. Yeah, Lindsay from Year of the Durian. She's there now. And there's a fruit festival there going on there now.
Mm-hmm.
Big Island Fruit Fest. So, yeah, I was interrupting you about the next big smelly fruit.
Cempedak. It actually smells more than durian.
Mm-hmm.
If you allow a Cempedak to truly ripen a lot, it smells so much that it's. I mean, you can smell it from very far away. Yeah, I mean, the first.
It was in Thailand as well. Yeah.
The first Cempedak we had, we were in.
I think Japan or something like that.
Maybe.
In Thailand, we were not looking for it. I think. I actually think we were just out walking, and suddenly we smelled something, and we've heard descriptions of Cempedak, I think, or something, and we just picked up like this crazy garlic bread, onion stuff kind of smell, and we were just like, oh my god, what is this? And there it was, like a kind of a small jackfruit. That's what it looked like. Like jackfruit can be, a lot of different sizes, but Cempedak is usually like more like oblong.
Yeah.
And it's like garlic bread.
But the thing is, though, as with all fruits, it's best when it's tree ripened, and Cempedaks, along with jackfruits, are picked unripe most of the time. So the ones we bought were actually black. They had been off the tree for a really long time, and that's when it really starts smelling a lot. And it was actually overripe. So the first Cempedak we had was not very good at all.
I don't remember that fact, but
we were sitting in a dirty park.
That's right. Yeah, I remember it now. But by the way, is the stream okay?
Yeah,
you
fine.
sure?
Yeah.
It doesn't look fine. But...
It's always fine.
Okay. Dad Morton asks, is it possible to get something that's even close to the taste of tropical fruit here in Norway and Canada? Yes, of course. You can. Bananas are tropical fruits. So there are tropical fruits here. Pineapples, they are tropical fruits. But they're just, because they've been picked so early, they will never taste as good here as they do in the tropics. As you know, Dad, when we were in Thailand, when you were with us in Thailand, you tried bananas and mangoes there, and as you know, they tasted way better there than here in Norway.
But Xander says berries, and honestly, I think that's probably the closest you get. Not in terms of tropical fruit, but when you're eating berries that are wild here in Norway, like wild raspberries in particular, they have this living factor,
the X factor,
which is variety and special deep taste, and it can change from one bush to the other.
Also known as quality. That's just what it is. When you buy local food, apples as well, it's basically when you buy local food that is allowed to ripen and is fresh, it can be epic. Even here in Norway, apples, they can be really great nowadays. In the apple season, the apples are pretty great. But as Morten says, apples can be really good nowadays. Here's the thing, though. If you compare like the best apple or the best raspberry or the best strawberry here in Norway in season, peak ripeness, if you compare that to a perfect mango or a perfect banana even, or a durian in the tropics, the tropical fruit is gonna really hit the spot in a much deeper way than what the temperate fruit can ever do. And that's a good segue into the next sort of principle of tropical fruit, or topic, I guess, which is that you gotta remember, we humans, we are tropical animals, biologically speaking. I mean, we originated in the tropics, and we've taken the tropics with us when we moved out of the tropics. And up here in Norway, when like right now we're sitting inside a house, we got heating on, we got clothing, we've got a tropical environment in here, and that's why we haven't really adapted to other climates and stuff like that. We're still tropical animals.
Yeah.
And that means we've adapted to a diet predominated by tropical fruits. And of course there are other things here and there. We can discuss that forever. Should we eat some nuts and seeds? What about insects? What about greens? That's all well and good, but the mainstay of our diet, species-specific diet, is fruit. And not only just fruit, because not any fruit will do, but actually tropical fruit.
Mm-hmm.
So, and when you look at the nutritional profile, well, I'll get into that. I just want to take a look at the chat again. Yeah, Jenny, we do have the best strawberries up here. The strawberries are amazing in Norway.
Yeah, pretty good.
And Sander says they have mulberries. That's cool. Mulberries are nice. And I've only tasted it once or twice. Jenny says, I can really appreciate a good apple, even the tart ones, if the flavor is there. I agree. When the flavor's there, even the tartness can be acceptable.
Yeah, for sure.
But here's the thing that when a human bites into a perfect apple, it's like, wow, that's an amazing taste. That's so fresh. That's so flavorful. But when a human bites into a Cempedak, something completely different happens. Yeah, it's like, I can't explain it. There's something that happens. There's a connection to that tropical fruit that goes deeper, I think, than what happens with the temperate fruit. And I think this is explainable by the simple fact that it probably meets our nutritional needs better, and it's higher in sugar. Sugar is high sugar fruits is what we thrive on as a species. We are much better off eating calorie-dense sweet fruits than we are eating very calorie-dilute fruits like apples and pears. Yeah. Well, pears can be pretty sweet, but nutritionally, when we look at nutritional profile as well of apples versus mangoes or something like that, it turns out, even though this is theoretical in a way, it looks kind of like apples fall short on a lot of nutrients, and a lot of berries too. Although they have a lot of some nutrients that are good, they sort of fall short on when you look at their complete profile, it sort of looks like they don't really give us a balanced nutritional profile.
Yeah, I mean, for sure, we have evolved with tropical fruits, and not only that, but for example, in terms of the sugar content of fruits, it's way easier to get high sugar fruits in the tropics because sugar is directly kind of related to sun. So there are...
Just to explain that, when the sun shines on the leaves, the energy of the sunlight is absorbed by the leaves. There's photosynthesis, basically. And the tree or the plant stores that energy in the form of carbohydrate. And it also builds its structure with those with the same energy. So the more sunshine, the more sugar. Yeah.
Yeah, and Diane says that she gets slight digestive upset from eating a lot of apples, which is true.
I get that too.
They're really hard to digest.
Yeah.
Which is pretty obvious when you bite into an apple. It's crispy. It's very different from something like Cempedak or Durian, which is just creamy. You don't even need to chew it.
Yeah. You just swallow that shit. But and also it's there are these acids in there as well in the apples and stuff. Things that sort of, I don't know. If you ever tried like a huge meal of plums, I mean, we did that once and that was a horrible experience because there are these acids in there that just don't digest well. Yeah. Xander says that's right. Large fruits would not exist without great apes. We co-evolved. That's a good word, actually. We co-evolved together with these fruits. Yeah. We have a symbiotic relationship with these trees. So actually,
basically, I mean, imagine plants growing up creating fruits, and a certain tree happened to have a lot of one vitamin, say, and we as humans need this vitamin. We eat the fruit, we survive, and we continue eating the fruit. Whereas if we ate the fruit that did not have this vitamin, we might have died out because we didn't get that.
Basically, over time, this is how it works, right? Over time, evolution, like natural selection, makes whatever fruit supplies our needs the best. That's what we end up choosing.
Mm-hmm.
That's also the most delicious for us, and vice versa as well. Like, it's too so complex to explain that situation. But I mean, most of you guys probably understand what natural selection is all about, right? Yeah. Sapodias can be compared with either brown sugar or oatmeal with white sugar. I agree. That's a good description.
He's also apparently grown some apples over in Costa Rica.
Grown? No.
Oh,
maybe.
I've got some apples here. Well, maybe. We've had apples.
I don't think you can grow apples in Costa Rica. Yeah, well, maybe you can actually. You can grow them if you're at the right altitude or something.
The point is, we had apples in La Palma, which is definitely a colder climate. But they were some of the best apples we've ever had. Do you remember the small apples this time on La Palma?
Yeah, very sweet.
Very.
Because there's more sunshine there. The sun is more intense.
Yeah.
But definitely it's not a colder climate. Though Norway is colder than La Palma, so it's not a colder climate like you said. Yeah. It's a warmer climate. But
than Costa Rica, I would say.
Oh yeah. Morten asks, what are your top 3 fruits in the universe nowadays? Can you describe why? Well, definitely the best place in the universe that we know of for fruit is the Earth.
Yeah.
So the best fruits on Earth, definitely durian, mangoes, and cherimoyas. That's what I would say. Durian, mangoes.
I've kind of forgotten.
I think that's a good thing to forgotten. What?
Forgotten my top list.
Well, give it us now, because that's one of our topics. What are our favorite tropical fruits? Yeah. Let's talk about it now.
Well, I was just thinking papayas, because papayas, time and time again, have continued to provide me with some of the best eating experiences I've had. Like, mangosteens are insanely tasty, but I only want them for smaller meals, or I want them occasionally, not all the time. But papayas are just... They are very varied. They're sweet. They're water rich. They're just
satisfying in a very amazing way.
Yeah, and very, very high in many nutrients.
Some people call them tree melons, and I feel like that's a good description. They're melons, but they're even better because they grow on trees, and they just fit our nutritional needs better than normal melons do.
And Jenny Marie also reminded me that I like mame, sapote, and that's true. That's actually my second most favorite fruit in terms of taste experience.
And the third one?
The third one, I'll get back to it.
Not durian?
No, the first one is durian.
Oh yeah, and didn't you just talk about papaya though?
Yeah, no, I was just talking about papaya and how maybe it's on my top 3.
So durian and mame, that's at least your top 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
In terms of taste, but I wouldn't eat durian. If I had to choose my favorite fruit to live on, it would have to be something else.
Yeah, I agree, because durian doesn't really... You don't feel optimal when you're eating durian. It's just for a variety of reasons. We haven't completely figured it out, but it seems we never feel our best when we're eating a lot of durian. So, for taste-wise, durian is the best. Yeah. Just like taste experience-wise. But how you feel and health-wise, it might not be the best. Mm-hmm. That's more like a mango or something like that. Yeah. And I think Diane brought up a point there which is important to mention as well in terms of the symbiotic relationship we have with fruit, and that is that we spread the seeds when we eat the fruit, and that's how we help the trees back. And that's exactly true. Like, the symbiotic relationship works in a way where both parts benefit. And so we benefit because we're getting food, calories, and nutrition, but the tree benefits because we're spreading its seeds. We're eating the fruit and throwing the seeds away, or spitting them out, or even pooping them out. And that helps the tree spread. So we're part of the reproductive process of the tree.
Yeah, they want us to eat their
offspring.
Offspring.
It is true, actually. A fruit is an ovary.
Well, I guess they don't want us to eat their offspring, because their offspring is the seeds.
You could say that. I mean, it gets complex. It's not exactly possible to do a perfect analogy to the like mammal type reproduction cycle, but basically, you know, if the tree makes a poor quality fruit, if it makes poor fruit, then we won't choose to eat it, and it will die out because it's not able to spread its seeds. So it's in the tree's best interest to produce good quality fruit. What do you guys think of pineapples? I love pineapple when I can get it fully ripe, when it's super sweet, like in Thailand and Costa Rica too. But I definitely don't like it when it's at all unripe. It really burns my mouth. And to be honest, even when it is ripe, so far I haven't had a pineapple that doesn't burn my mouth.
But we have heard of people we've heard of many people actually who say their tolerance to the burning gets better. So like they can actually, their mouth somehow. And
the burning, isn't it actually cutting though? Like I think it's cutting.
Which again then makes sense that you might
calloused mouth.
Pineapple juice though is like the best juice.
That's the best juice. That's
strangely.
Ape living egg fruit. Egg fruit is weird. Canistel.
Talk about your egg fruit.
Yeah, experience. I don't want to go too far into it, but I ate some egg fruit and I got really nauseous and I got a crazy headache. And I've heard other people get the same experience. And now I can't even look at an egg fruit. Seriously, just talking about it, I'm almost like, nauseous. That's something that can happen. But I think before I had that experience, though, I had a few times where I ate it and I thought it was really tasty. It's very strange. It's called egg fruit because it's almost like a egg yolk, like a hard-boiled egg yolk. Jenny says durian, jackfruit, and cherimoya. Top 3, yeah. Cherimoyas, oh my god, so delicious. So sweet and delicious. Jackfruit as well. You know, jackfruit, it's like bubblegum fruit. Has the same taste as juicy fruit bubblegum. I think juicy fruit bubblegum has taken, you know, the taste comes from jackfruit.
Yeah.
Banana, mango, and cherimoya for me. Jenny Kanelhjärta. That's a really good top. Yeah, I would say the same if I had to like choose the best fruits to live on. Banana, mango, cherimoya, probably. But yeah,
I would actually say that bananas are probably the fruit I would. If I had to live off one fruit, it would be banana, because it's the one that provides me the most kind of normal eating experience. If I only had Cempanoc, I would probably get accustomed to it maybe, but the point is, intense eating experience are psychologically taxing almost.
Yeah,
it can be so
emotionally taxing.
It can be so intense that that you're like, whoa, oh my god, at the end of the meal. Or even with durian,
in a good way, but it can be overwhelming. Yeah. I mean, if you were just eating durian, or just like you've done for 6 weeks only durian,
every meal becomes very, very strong. I'm thinking about it in a long time. I'm preparing for it. I heard on the radio a few days ago how they looked at which series on Netflix were being most binge watched, which means watching one episode after the other for a long time. And actually it wasn't the most popular ones like Stranger Things or Game of Thrones, because they are so intense that you can watch 1 or 2 episodes, but it is emotionally draining. The ones that were watched the most were actually just like really relaxed comedies and sitcoms and stuff like this.
Yeah, like Friends and stuff.
Which you can just, it's just life. It's just like, nothing extreme is going on. It's just normal. Yeah. And that's why I think bananas, for me, would actually be the best, most...
if you were on an island and you had to choose one fruit for the rest of life, you would choose bananas. That's what you're saying. That's a really good... That's an amazing fact. Yeah. Hello from Kopangan. Hello.
Who?
Further reading.
Oh, good.
I forget that username though. Further reading. What's your name again? I mean, I sometimes I don't remember the exact username and who that is. Can you tell us? Jenny says ape living. 1,000. Oh, I'm just talking to Ape Living. Diane, I've had some experience, the same experience with Jackfruit. I enjoyed it the first time I had and bought a case of it. After eating a few, I no longer liked it and felt the same negative reaction. Interesting.
The person we heard this from as well happening to was Rob, which was the what's it called? The not husband, but forlovat.
Oh, husband.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the then husband of Lindsay Gassick, author of the Year of the Durian Guide to Thailand. Yeah, he experienced the same things as Michael did, and it was pretty extreme.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Very strange.
Yeah, as Xander says, if you could have a wide variety though of any one fruit, that might change the selection, and that is true. You know, there are 1,000 varieties of bananas, so that's true. If you could just eat lots of variety within one fruit, then even one fruit could be very satisfying. Mm-hmm. And Paolo, okay, of course. Hey, thanks for joining us today. Well, let's talk about. What should we talk about? Tell us what to talk about now. What have we covered? I mean, we've talked about nutritional issues and say that, you know, tropical fruits are probably closer to matching our nutritional needs than temperate fruits, and we should probably base our diet around mostly tropical fruits, ideally. Yeah. We've talked about durian, cempedak, jackfruit. We've mentioned some of those amazing fruits. We have to mention some fruits we haven't tried.
Oh, yeah. There's one that comes to mind, which we've tried once, and that was Aki.
Aki.
Okay, Aki. It is a Jamaican fruit, which is apparently the one that most people say is most similar to cheese. We tried it once at the market in Cairns, and it wasn't very good. But it wasn't very ripe, and it wasn't apparently a very good one.
No.
But that said, it wasn't very good. It was too much stuff going on. It was difficult to focus just on one bite of a new fruit.
Yeah. So that's definitely one that we both liked.
Yeah.
We would like to really try again. Mm-hmm. Good quality Aki, to see that,
really
to try that taste.
It's really high in fat, not sweet, I think. Yeah.
And that's one definitely for sure. I mean, we've tried quite a lot of different stuff. Mm-hmm. It's almost like the ones that we haven't tried are the ones we don't know about almost.
Yeah.
So I can't really come up with any. That was a good example, though. That's one of the fruits we would definitely like to try.
Yeah.
And I would love to try more Malaysian durian, actually. We've had a lot of Thai durian, and I actually, after trying some Malaysian durian, I still prefer Thai durian. I kind of like it when they pick it a little bit early. Because it just gives us a certain consistency. And remember, I'm not talking about like way early. In Thailand, like an ideal durian is picked like 2 days maybe or 3 days before peak ripening. Mm-hmm. And that gives it a special consistency. But I'd like to try some more Malaysian durian for sure. So let's get into some of these sort of topics. Dates, Jenny says. Well, yeah, dates are epic.
We had many insane dates. There's some in France that imported very fresh from somewhere, and they're basically medjool dates, but they are the softest kind of dates you could possibly imagine. They're like dripping.
Yeah, you could literally smear it like with a knife. You could just smear it across something like that.
Insanely good.
So dates can be really good, but most dates, like packaged dates and stuff, they can be so dry and boring. You got to get fresh stuff. And yeah, like Xander says, some fruits are hard to open, other fruits are easy to open. That's a good sort of topic, I guess. Cacao is hard to open.
Don't you just have to knock it in a tree?
Yeah, but it is hard to open rather than, if you look at a banana, that's just like a peeling.
Or a date.
But, and as you know, when fruits are ripe, they are usually quite easy to open. Even durian, it's fairly easy to split open when it's ripe. Mm-hmm. Jackfruit, you should be able to just like... when it's fully ripe. So Paolo asks, do you guys have a vague idea about how much land it would take to satisfy a fruitarian family of 4 on average, considering that some trees may not fruit, some just a little, and also considering the seasonality? Yes, I do have a pretty good answer, and I think as Ape Living says there, I think a hectare is enough. I'm not exactly sure how much a hectare is, but you know, Xander, Ape Living, would know more about this than me because he's there growing the food. So you guys keep talking, but I've heard Robert Lockhart say that 1 acre is definitely enough for one person.
Yeah.
Was it one person? I think so.
Yeah.
So 4 acres, I guess, would be great. And it's all about being smart, I guess. So at least 4 acres, I guess. I don't know how much a hectare is. But then also keep in mind that some fruits fruit very quickly. So for example, if you plant a lot of bananas and papayas, they will fruit within a year or 2 at least. So if you're starting up on a land, you should plant a lot of papaya and a lot of bananas right away. Then you can buy your other fruits, I guess. And then over time, and at the same time, you plant stuff that takes longer time to fruit, like durian and jackfruit. That might take 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years before they start fruiting properly.
Diane asks if we've ever tried the coffee fruit. The fruit supposedly doesn't have caffeine, but to get to the fruit, it's hard not to crunch on the seeds, which looks like coffee seeds. It's delicious, but kept me up all night after eating a few ounces.
Wow. I never tried it.
No, not really. I mean, we've tried cacao, which is in the family, I think.
The cacao fruit, you can suck off the fruit that's around the cacao seed. And that's pretty delicious. But yeah, I never tried the coffee fruit. That would be interesting. But I don't think they're in the family now. Isn't coffee like little berries almost? Lots of I think so. I don't think it's in the family of cacao. Who knows?
Which is in the family of cacao, though? There's two very similar.
I don't know. Well, a lot of comments.
Don't worry, you don't need to answer everything.
I'd like to go through all of it. Diane says, I like how the fruit is the one food where its producer, the tree, really wants us to eat the food. That isn't even the case with vegetables. That's true, it's in the tree's best interest for us to eat its fruit. I ate some cacao at one point, and in Costa Rica actually, David's cacao, David's chocolate, and I ate too much at one point, and I felt terrible, horrible. So it's definitely very stimulating. That theobromine, kind of similar to caffeine. So definitely, if you are to consume cacao or chocolate, it's probably best to keep the amount pretty low. Yeah.
Paolo, further reading, says that he opened the jackfruit with today he opened the jackfruit with his own hands, no tools needed. Foraged from a tree here on the island. Wow. I'm a fan of ripe fruits. Yeah, we all are.
Nice.
That's the way to eat jackfruit ripe from the tree.
Mm-hmm. Where on the island are you exactly? Morten says, I remember eating mangosteen. That was really good. Yeah, the mangosteens are good. And I think mangosteens is probably one of those fruits that are most beginner friendly. Yeah. Like if you, as a beginner fruit fanatic, or someone beginning a raw vegan diet or whatever, when they're presented with a mangosteen, it looks sort of cool on the outside, like a little hand grenade. Then you open it up and it's this white amazing thing inside, which is very appealing. Yeah. And then you eat it and it's sort of light. It's not intense. It's sweet, and it's kind of
doesn't look crazy or gross in any way.
It's just inviting and delicious and almost cute, No. Now in a jungle house close to Coconut Lane. Was in Sri Tanu before. Okay, cool. Just spotted a huge spider in the kitchen. Yeah, those spiders. Yeah. They're kind though. They're usually not out to bother anyone. I guess we'll wrap it up. Yeah. It's just tropical fruits.
You can't really, if you are interested in eating a fruit-based diet, you pretty much at some point have to go to the tropics for an extended period of time to try everything, because you won't really know what real food is until you've tried it.
Yeah, it's a calibration. Like literally, if you wish to know what real food is about for humans and what fruit is all about, you need to go to tropics to calibrate your senses, to get in touch with your biology as a tropical frugivore species. You could go to Costa Rica and visit Ape Living's retreat. You could, I'm sure Xander would be happy to show anyone around, even if you come outside of that time. Right, Xander? And yeah, going to the tropics should be a first priority for anyone interested in a fruit-based diet. And of course, if you haven't checked out my book, The Way of the Fruitful Traveler, maybe that would be something of interest, because that book I wrote about our experiences traveling, lightweight backpacking in the tropics, how to find the best fruit, basically how to travel for fruit. Basically, that's what that book is all about. So the link is in the description when we post this video on YouTube, and you could also go to our website and find it there.
Paolo says that, let me take a chance to thank you guys, because if I'm in Thailand, it's probably probably 90% because of your videos. That's really cool to hear.
Yeah,
I hope a lot of people are inspired by them. We were definitely inspired by other people showing off Thailand, and knowing that we change people's lives in subtle directions is really cool.
We all change each other's lives. That's the thing. Like, you guys change our lives too. I mean, interacting with you guys here on Patreon, and like that inspires us back again. And so it's a win-win-win-win, kind of thing. Oh, that rhymed even. Xander Ape Living says, that's right. Thanks, guys. Come to the tropics. Cacao is in the Malvaceae family, while coffee berries are That's cool. Thanks for letting us know. They're both a nitrogen fixing something though, which contain high number of plants, have root nodules. Yeah, a lot of complex words there, but they're good plants, I guess, to have in a growing system. I guess that's what it says. Diane says she loves the live chats. You two are such good company. Thank you, and you're a great company too, Diane, and all of you other guys. I mean, it's so much fun to talk to you guys here.
Yeah.
Now it's dinner time here. As you mostly know, we eat cooked sweet potatoes for dinner, mostly. So that's we have our dinner. We're gonna go cook it now, and then we're gonna chill out, and I'm gonna watch the second episode of Stranger Things, season 2.
And I'll be watching Weird People on YouTube, which is basically my newest addiction.
Like weird people that are
like strange diseases and stuff.
People that have like 5 arms
half
and
a face. And
so much entertaining stuff out there on the internet. Thank you guys for joining us. It was fun. It was really nice turnout today, and the topic was exciting, and it was epic to have you guys with us.
Yeah. Thanks for watching. Join us for the next one.
Yeah, join us for the next one as well in about a month. Usually the last weekend of every month. That's around the time when we do the live hangout. Yeah. And if you're watching this recording of this on YouTube later, then know that you can join the next hangout by going to Patreon and sign up there. All right. Thanks everyone.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.